Hello and welcome. My name is Tom.
And I'm Heather.
And you are sitting at the Couples Table.
The Couples Table is a live stream podcast here on this channel. Join us for better or worse.
For richer or poorer.
In sickness and in health.
As long as we both shall live. We did it. I just remembered as we were about to start this, I think it was Bailey. Somebody in the comments gave me a whole great idea about like, oh, you could have Ecamm automate the song and the switching and all this stuff. And I completely forgot about that until right now. So sorry about that. But
Welcome to episode 61. It is so great to see all of you guys. Some of you I saw like an hour ago.
Yeah, you've been a little bit busy today. Actually, we both have, because I did a podcast at 7 a.m. Then we both kind of did a little members only stream with the YOLO box that I got. Then you led a Zoom session on YouTube tags for the Just Create More community.
Yes.
Then you did a consulting thing just now,
call.
Which ended 4 minutes ago. And now you're doing this stream.
And now I'm here.
So, and hi to everybody who's here. Thanks for being here. Chip says he shouldn't have watched my video today despite my devotion to the SM7B. I love the look of the Super 55. Yeah, mine is boop, right there for right now. But I've been using this Lewitt and I like it. And I actually wanted to show, I got this little thing, which is so cool. I love little stuff like this. So the Lewitt is pretty good, but it has some plosives. And this is a metal mesh windscreen, which like if you blow through it, like you couldn't blow out a candle if it were on the other side of this, you know?
Is this better?
Oops. And
yes,
it just attaches by magnets to this little shock mount. So you just slide it over the
Tom
mic.
is super
Boom.
upset. Oh, I'm like real low. Okay, let's fix this.
You should be.
Hi everyone, my name is Heather. I'm doing a mic check. How does this sound?
You should be good.
I think I'm good now
Yeah,
because I repositioned the mic. We didn't get to do a sound check because I was in the bathroom when Tom was starting the stream.
So anyway,
so there you go.
We should be fairly even right now, judging by the broadcast meters. Thank you guys though for letting us know. Sammy was on the Zoom call. He said it was great and also like chipped in a ton of really valuable info.
Yeah, that was great.
So thank you for that, Sammy. I'm glad Alex here. I know you're like on the other side of the world, so I'm happy you can do this. Rob says he's missing stuff. It's just that darn job.
And other stuff that's happening. So anyway, just quick plug for the Just Create More community. You know, shout out to all of you guys here who are part of it. But we're really excited about what we're doing there. So if you are a passionate or dedicated YouTube creator, feel free to join us if you want some extra support and a community of other YouTube creators just like you. There's no prerequisite to join in terms of channel size or niche or anything like that. It's $20 a month, and you can join us at justcreatemore.com.
Explanatory Live says, "What's up from Boston?"
What's
and Homesick
up?
Max says, "Why did I miss the JCM Zoom meetup?" Well, you know what? There's gonna be another one tomorrow.
I just posted the replay before this.
Yeah,
too.
there's a replay. Plus, one of our other members is hosting a camera basics workshop tomorrow. So
yes,
I think even if you're already like confident in camera skills, it's just gonna be fun to check out.
Yeah. All
right. So we're gonna dive into some stuff today because let me tell you what happened this morning.
Yeah. Okay, let me tell you what happened this morning.
Well, it'll be one of those both sides
Let
situations.
me paint this picture.
Of like what happened from your point of view, what happened from my point of view.
So we woke up. It's a beautiful morning.
Facts, yes.
Sunrise was all pretty. It's just a nice Thursday.
We were scared of some bugs.
Yeah, but that's fine. And then, what did I ask you?
I don't remember what let it off. I was sitting there eating my toast.
Oh, so as we all know, Thursdays are the day that Tom publishes a video. So, of course, I ask a few hours later, how's your video doing? And he just unleashed into a whole like, blah, 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 and I was like, Jesus, this is a whole.
That's what happened.
There was a conversation happening that I unknowingly stepped into. Tom was very frustrated. In fact, you were like probably the most frustrated I've seen you when it comes to YouTube.
I think I am the most frustrated I've been
Yeah,
when it
there's
comes
some
to
pent up
YouTube. Yeah.
situation happening. So I was like, what are we going to talk about on the couples table? And Tom was like, I don't want to talk about this because I don't want to discourage people. And I don't want to, I want to always have the content be positive, especially if you are inspiring people. We are inspiring people to, start this journey because it's awesome. But I said, I think that, speaking from someone who has shared the journey as authentically as possible on this channel, I think that the lows are just as important as the highs. And I think that navigating these ups and downs and these frustrations when it comes to something like YouTube is super important. I think it's part of it. So, So what I'm hoping, what I'm hoping is that you will let it all out, Tom. Don't filter, just go, okay? Because I know you bite your tongue. You're like, no, we're gonna, it's the teacher in you that's like, even though you're having the worst day, you're gonna smile for the student.
That's what they teach you in teaching school is like literally bottle up your emotions, hide it all, leave it all at the door. Which, I understand you can't like let out your adult frustrations on like a 13-year-old, but it's also kind of unhealthy. So anyway.
And this is my YouTube channel.
Yes, it is.
So, I think that you should do that.
Well,
also, Desert Cornhole, we've missed you too. I was wondering where you were, but I'm glad everything's okay.
So
okay, here we go. Ready?
Basically, we can just look at this as like YouTube creator stuff. And there's so many things that are happening.
I have a question.
Sure. What is your question?
Oh, I was like, the camera's moving, but the angle isn't moving. It is moving. It's just so slow that
it's very, very slow.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, the camera's moving so fast, but I don't see it.
It's because it should be. We're like the same in the frame, but the background is kind of like shifting a little bit. Like a little bit of a parallax effect going on there.
Okay. Sorry.
So Rob says YouTube doesn't measure true loyalty. 100%. And I think it was Ben Tolson in one of your streams that said analytics can't measure value.
Yeah, that's
which
right.
is 1,000% true. And Raphael said, did you guys have a big subscriber count drop yesterday? Yes.
I wouldn't know because I don't check.
Yeah, I've noticed it seems like it's happening once or twice a week lately. I think YouTube is just purging accounts. I think I lost like 70 or something.
Actually, I jumped into my YouTube channel, like this one, and I was like, oh, I hit 11,000. Did I know that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just forgot.
Yeah. So...
Sorry, go. Sorry.
So here's sort of where I am at is a few months ago, we talked about the numbers and being frustrated by that and all that kind of stuff. And everybody was very kind and very supportive of like, no, it doesn't matter, which is 1,000% true. Like, of course. However, there's sort of been this thing in my mind where the numbers don't matter in terms of I can still like a video that underperforms. People can still get value out of it. If you go to my video from today, which is aggressively 10 out of 10 on YouTube and not the good kind of 10 out of 10, every comment on there
like
is...
the bottom of the
list.
Yeah,
YouTube ranks it.
10.
Yeah, you want a 1 out of 10 is what you want. Every comment is somebody getting something cool out of that video or enjoying it. So in terms of that, huge success. We just saw Chip saying like, hey, yeah, I kind of want that microphone. Like it's a good video. And you know what? I had a ton of fun making it. As has been the case for all of my previous 15 videos that have been 9s and 10s out of 10. So that's fine. I don't care. Like it doesn't matter. Like the video's not a success to me based on the numbers. However, now that we're going into month 5 of numbers going down, which also affects not just YouTube revenue, but every other revenue stream, as it's my full-time job, now I'm getting frustrated. I'm getting nervous. I'm getting frustrated that the channel is performing half as well as it did when it was half as big as it is. Like what we even said when I was quitting my job, if you did nothing different, everything would at least sustain like this. No, cut that in half and just have it continue to go downward. No matter like how much effort I put into something, no matter how proud I am of something, it's so unbelievably frustrating. And I know we have always said like, we don't want to bemoan the YouTube platform because it's an amazing platform. The fact you can do any of that stuff, the fact you can share that stuff. And I understand also, just because you put out a video does not mean you're entitled to like anything from that. But it's like, It's just at the point now where it's been going on for so long that it's hard for me to go like, okay, if I want to turn this around so that things are performing in a way that, like, you know, makes me feel less anxious and terrified all the time, I need to change something. That's fine. You got to evolve. I can't just keep making the same thing for a long time. But I don't know if what I need, like you this morning, you're like, why don't you play around with YouTube Shorts? And I was like, I just have no interest in YouTube Shorts. Like, personally, it's just not a thing I even care to do at all. So maybe that's a way to to be successful on the platform, but it's not, you know, I'm not interested in that, you know? So anyway, over the past 5 months, all these little things have been like building up. And I've been telling myself, just stay positive. Focus on the good stuff. Focus on the positive impact. Focus on the fact you can do this stuff. You can even put it out there. Look at all the cool messages you get. Look at all the amazing connections. You know, like, we have genuine friends now that we've never met. We've talked about this many times. Amazing stuff. Like, focus on that. Who cares what an algorithm ranks you as? But now it's been so long and I've been bottling that up for so much that this morning when you just said, how's it doing? And I said, the video's doing bad. It just flipped and I was just like,
he went
so
into
frustrated.
it, yeah.
Because.
And then here's one thing that really made me sad about your thing this morning was he was very frustrated.
Keeping in mind, each video represents days of work on my part. Like, it's, you know, it's not just like.
Well, so here's the thing.
I don't want to come off as like, oh, poor you. Oh, your video didn't do well. Like, someone, you know.
I don't think anyone here who watches is.
I just want to point out that awareness of like, I get it, that. But also, each video is a lot of work on my end.
But here's the thing that really made me sad about what you said this morning, and it was. Clearly, it's something I'm doing.
Right, which
clearly
I believe.
It's me. And I freaking hate that. Like, I do not like how YouTube is now. Because here's what's happening, okay? Here's what's happening. We have all had, I think, most of us have all worked in a job or had a boss or had been in a position where you felt like you started to have to second guess yourself.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you weren't qualified or there was something wrong that you were doing or whatever. And the beauty, the fun about working for yourself is that you are your own boss. And if now YouTube is now become that boss that you left, making you question everything about yourself, which is super annoying because you are literally the most talented, most artistic, most professional, most stylized, like, dedicated person on YouTube. I can literally say that. You put your heart and soul. When I felt like crap this weekend, decided to watch anime and play video games, you were making a video and, you know, spent hours doing that. And you made another video this week. Like, you don't
it's
ever
busy.
stop.
Yeah. Which is
and
why
I hate how you feel that way. Like,
yeah,
it just
and it
makes
sucks
me sad.
that from my end, the more work I put into stuff, the worse everything makes me feel bad. Because I'm proud, like, I'm so excited to have new ideas and share new stuff and try new things. And then it just doesn't do well. And like I said, it's not like I just need all the views in the world. What it is I like being able to do what we're doing. I like being able to spend my time working on these projects. I like that they're able to be beneficial to people. I like that we can have our community. Like, I love all that stuff so much and I want to keep doing it. And that's why when we're in month 5 of downward trend, that I get scared looking ahead because everything's fine right now, like totally fine. But another year of this, not going to be totally fine. And so that's where I'm just like...
I have 2 questions.
Like,
elaborate on downward trend. And 2, what would make you happy? Like, what do you want? What do you wish?
What do you want?
Like, what do you want to happen? Realistically, because obviously, silver play button. But, like, what do you realistically... like, what would make it so you wouldn't be frustrated?
So downward trend, which is no secret. Like, I mean, I can show my analytics or whatever, but you can go on Social Blade and see it for yourself. By every measurable outcome, which doesn't include things like value, relationship, all that, but every just measurable, concrete,
so views,
quantitative
subscribers,
thing,
watch time,
revenue, impressions, click-through rate, everything, nothing but going down for 5 months. Every video performs worse than the one before it, like for
That's
5
not
months.
True.
I mean, it really is. Like,
because I know that you've had videos where I'm like, oh, what? And you're like, oh, 1 out of 10.
Literally not since at least May. I literally not since. The best I've done is I got one that peaked into 6 and 7 for like half a day and then bumped back down to like 8 or So that's very frustrating. And I mean, you can see it on everything. So that is what I'm talking about when I say downward trend. What would make me happy, or at least just make me feel, it's not about making me happy. Doing what I'm doing makes me happy.
I just don't want you to be frustrated.
So what would make me feel less frustrated is the fact that, like, yeah, when your channel was half this size and you weren't as good at what you're doing what you're doing now, the channel should be at least performing like it was, because it was for a long time, well over a year, kind of like, I mean, like a machine. And I know you can't always say that something online is going to be doing this, but it was, you could pinpoint, this is what revenue will be, this is what views will be, this is what growth will be, this is what that. It wasn't like crazy exponential, like, oh my God, those people who get 100,000 subscribers a day or something. But it was like, here's nice little steady trend, everything's good. And it was just very, very consistent and very, very steady, very modest, but very, very consistent. And now it's that, but it's in the other direction. And that is frustrating.
I have another question. You've talked to other people. Is it just you, or is this like a thing that's happening in your space, do you think?
So every single person I've talked to in my space has this exact same problem. The only person I know of who's not experiencing this runs a food channel. And food is universal. So, but everybody else, for, a long time, something shifted in the spring for like everybody, it seems like. And whatever it was, like, YouTube just started valuing things differently, and it just hurt everybody. And so this morning I was doing a podcast with Peter Lindgren, and we were talking about that. It seems like we're at like a turning point, and it's at a time where people who have been doing something, you have an established workflow for several years or whatever it might be, need to change and adapt and do something different. Don't know what that is. Don't know how to approach it. We were thinking of people like Marquez Brownlee, iJustine, like people who've been on the platform for well over a decade and have had to, they're doing the same thing. Like if you watch an MKBHD video from, 9 to 10 years ago, production wise, it's very different, but at its core, it's the same thing. It's the same guy doing the same kind of the heart of it is all still there, but the container has shifted throughout the years. And that's very interesting, is how do these people with insane longevity, how have they managed to adapt as the platform has changed and trends have changed and society has changed over that longer period of time? Because it seems like the platform is just at a point now where it's shifting something. And of course, this is where I will bemoan YouTube. They don't tell you jack S about anything. Like, it's just feeling your way in the dark and like, this feels like a doorknob. Can I go into this door? Like, there's no indication of we shifted our values and now we're prioritizing this so that you can then adjust accordingly. And that's very frustrating. But anyway, sorry.
I feel like you're not done. We got more.
A red fog descended, and I don't know, it was like 48 minutes ago that I started talking.
It's only been 20.
Has it been? No, that's a long time. Anyway, I know I saw comments popping up.
Wait, no, I had it. I'm doing this. Yeah.
You can favor them.
No, I still have questions.
Okie dokie.
So follow-up question to what you just said, is this, if what you said is that you've talked to many other creators, there's only one out of the many that you've talked to where they're experiencing this low, then if that's the case, is there any like credit to maybe you have to readjust the parameters of success in your mind because it's like decreasing for everybody?
Well, so I've tried approaching it that way, because you're right. If everybody's in the same boat, then it's like we're on the same thing. And what it ultimately comes down to is how that affects everything else. So it's not about getting a video to 1 out of 10. It's not about breaking a view record. It's about, well, now YouTube revenue is down. Okay, that's not really a problem, because the number one rule of YouTube revenue is don't count on like AdSense for your, that's icing on the cake. But if YouTube is sort of the main way that people come across you and find you and access all the other stuff that you can do, then the numbers will negatively affect that as well. So there's not much you can... So it doesn't make me feel better, because it's just like, oh man, like I am in pain and you're also in pain. It doesn't lessen either of our pain. We're both still in pain.
Okay, I have another question, and then we'll jump into the comments
Sure.
because I see all of you guys.
And I'm not trying to get pity points or anything. I'm just letting it all out. This is how I feel.
Yeah, this is why
Disclaimer.
he didn't want to do this, is because he didn't want to come off like, he didn't want to be discouraging, and he didn't want it to come off
Yes.
at like it was a pity party, because, you know, you're still going to make videos. That's not what this is about. You're just trying to vent some frustration. So, question, would it make you feel better if you were to, you know, replace streams of income so that you were less dependent on the platform?
No, that's what I have to do. That's what I've been trying to do. But that doesn't make me feel better, actually. That makes me feel worse because that's not the stuff that I'm as interested in doing. So it's like, yeah, I could even take on something like freelance work and make more money than I would make on YouTube. I don't want to do that, though. Like, you know, I had a job I didn't want to do, so I could have just kept that. The thing was, like, the promise of being able to do what you want to do on your own terms, and as soon as I made that leap, it's just been downhill ever since, and it's so frustrating, which I have to adapt, and it sucks. Like, I wish I could invest more in YouTube. I wish I could rely more on YouTube. I wish I could be more of a partner with YouTube and go like, this is what I actually want to do. Like, I want to put in the work on this platform because I want longer form videos to make. I don't want to make short form videos. I don't want to have 18 different websites I have to manage. I don't want to have to go into all these traditional avenues of sales. Like, I want to establish things on this platform right here, but you can't because they are not a reliable partner for that sort of thing. They are an amazing platform for saying, here is the thing where you can upload and share your stuff. That's it. That sucks. So I have to adjust and start doing it, which is why, I mean, I'm over 20 different revenue streams right now. And there have been months over the past few months where it's like, you know, every revenue stream is the worst it's been, but overall the revenue for the month is fine because there's so many different streams. Still incredibly frustrating and discouraging though. And yeah, so that's clearly what I have to do, and I have to readjust and just go like, yeah, I can't focus on YouTube in the way that I would want to because I can't. Like, I have to do other things instead.
Here's another question. Is there a way that you can welcome, Alec.
Oh, hey.
We saw that you just joined the community.
So clearly my rant wasn't too discouraging then.
Could you, like, okay. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yes.
Could you come up with a way, a multitude of ways where you can get paid doing what you really want to do, which is make YouTube videos? And like right now, I don't know if this is what you're doing, but it seems like you are making videos based on what you think is going to do well on YouTube. But is there a way that you can, like, you know, the drum stream wasn't going to do well on YouTube, but that was really good in terms of brand building, community building, all of those things. So is there a way that you could like brainstorm, okay, here's YouTube video ideas, and here's potential people who would want to sponsor or partner so that you can create a video that someone is willing to pay for that both you and your audience will enjoy?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Because the videos I make, I don't make videos that I think will do well on YouTube and mission accomplished. I make videos that I'm interested in and that it's the same advice. Like, what's the question that you see popping up 10 times? Okay, I'll make a video on that question. You know, and that's where a lot of the ideas come from. And the thing I think that I'm so frustrated about is like the fact that the original downward shift was not gradual. If it were gradual, that would tell me that the audience interest is waning over time for one reason or another. It was overnight, or literally over the course of a week. So that tells me it's a platform shift, which just means like, it's like a dam, you know, you come up against it and you can't, it doesn't really matter what, like, I am being
Yeah,
blocked.
but like to me, it doesn't matter if you, if like if you literally looked at your streams of income. Sorry, your knee is like really tickling my knee, and we're like playing footsies over here. Can you like not?
Sorry.
If you looked at your streams of income and you literally knocked off YouTube ads or like whatever, like take the
I
pressure
basically
off.
do that, but
So take that off. And then like whatever you think, like let's call it, 5K, right? Say
Sure.
you made 5K from a video, like say that's your average. Then can you find that 5K in other ways and then like, make the video and like, you know what I mean? Because like, I think that if you brainstorm ideas that are not YouTube optimized, right? So we're not going the search way, but we're going this is like a topic I'm really excited about. I want to explore, here are partners that would want to be a part of that. And then like, like the road to road is like something, I know it's a super extreme example, but like that is something that all of us here would totally love to watch. Hopefully Road would be willing to sponsor, and like you would make awesome videos, and zero of that has to come from YouTube numbers, like nothing. The video can tank in terms of, it could be 10 out of 10, but you're still gonna get paid. It's still gonna be great for your channel. Like that's what I mean.
Yeah, the problem is those are those are unicorns, lightning in a bottle, whatever you want to call it, where you have that relationship, that understanding with an outside entity. Because the vast majority will then you're just doing client work on your channel is what it turns into. And I'm not into that like at all. So that's just tough because establishing that takes a lot of time.
I think it's easier though than like
but that's where it's
praying
just
to
like
the gods right now.
Right. But I mean, it's easier in the same way that like, well, go on TikTok and do a thing. It's like, yeah, but I have no interest in,
but like I get that you have no interest in YouTube Shorts and TikTok and all of that, but I feel like there's a happy medium here of you love making videos. There's people who would definitely want to partner with you, and like you can make content that could tank every time but still get paid, because that's what you're worried about. It's the paid, right? Or is we want more subscribers, because that's a different story. Then yeah, I would say
it's the longevity, because here's what would happen with that is I straight up don't have that many great ideas about like partnering with someone and doing something. Like I just do not have a ton of ideas for that. I have a ton of ideas for videos that I would want to make, but they're not, Tom travels around the world or does something crazy. It's just an idea that Tom wants to try to use a foot switch to change eCam scenes, like like simple stuff, But the problem is, sure, if you go, okay, well, who cares what the performance is? It's all about making the good video, sponsor the thing. That's where the same trap that I've seen videos that I've been a fan of fall into, where it's clearly what they do, and then their channels die, and that's the end of their time on YouTube.
Yeah, but you like fine. That's how people before have done.
I can't think that I'm the exception to the
But
to
you're
the rule.
the exception with everything.
I don't think so. I don't know about that, but
you have an ethics statement.
I know
that's 100% proof of exception.
What it is it's just like,
we also have comments.
I know, it's just trying to protect the long-term sustainability of being able to be in charge of my time and make the stuff that I care about, which just doing a whole bunch of different client projects will be a nightmare for me. Like I'll just get a job. Like I'm not interested in that, because that's just super stressful. The same way that like, okay, take YouTube out of the equation and focus on, you can build up a website. The website can lead to this. And then it's like, now I'm, trying to start 18 different fires and keep them all going. And it's like, what am I doing? It's exhausting.
I know, but I mean,
none of that is what I actually just want to like sit down and, when it comes down to like just enjoying my time, of which there is not much because time is finite, that's just not it,
Yeah, but also I think every self-employed person knows that you have to adapt to change. Like we've been lucky because the pandemic has worked in our favor, like it's just the truth, it really helped your channel. We found this huge community because of that. Like the circumstances are going to change, and I feel like for someone to be like, oh, I just wish I could just keep doing the same thing over and over again. Well, yeah, but
that's not really what I'm saying though. Like, anyway, this is checking with comments.
okay. Do you think the effect of people going back to work, getting back out and doing things is playing a part in this?
I think here's what I think genuinely is I think YouTube made it play a part in this. I don't think habits have really changed. The average amount of time, monthly subscribers, all that kind of, like people joining the platform, not any different. However, in the springtime, YouTube 100% changed it where camping content, outdoor content, food content started performing better than AV production content. Like, I really think that they thought people are going to go back outside again, so push all the outside stuff, forget all this kind of stuff. And I think that's a thing that happened.
Chip says, I'll be a bit contrarian and argue that numbers do matter, especially now because the overall environment is shifting for audio, video, and maybe necessary to shift with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah.
As someone who has run many businesses over the past decades, I can tell you that you ignore data at your own peril. The trick is analyzing the right data.
Right. And, and that's always been a tough thing with YouTube is because this is a good thing. You have access to all the data in the world. There's so much, but how do you, like, it's time to pivot to a full-time Jake Paul gossip channel.
Because see, that's the thing. Like, I know we can, like literally if someone was going to pay us $1 million to get a channel from like 0 to, silver play button in a week, we would,
Well, I don't know about a week, but yeah, well, I mean, there's just other stuff which could be a good thing is, I have ideas for videos. Like I have my Canon XL1, which everybody here is very familiar with at this point. I'm so excited to make a video about that. That's not just like a review, but dives into why that camera actually means something to me. Which will be a harder video to make. Like I have to go get old footage. I have to go get old ad clips from 20 years ago. Like all this stuff to make a thing, which I think would be really, really cool. I don't think that video is going to perform very well because of lots of reasons. But that's a video I'd be really excited to make. And it's sort of, I'm at this point where it's like, well, if everything is not performing well, then there's no reason not to go just dive into the thing that I'm super excited about. But it's also like, it is hard to go, okay, well, I'm going to spend a week or two working on a thing really hard and it's not going to do anything. Part 2 of my question would be, is there any data that shows views through all of YouTube are still as high as they were during the shutdown? I mean, YouTube releases their stuff. If you compare March of 2020 to August of 2021, I am sure there's a pretty big difference, but like YouTube as a platform is only growing. And it's like, I don't know. I think that does play a part into it. I do not think it's the main thing. Philip, my last video was 1 out of 10 for 30 seconds, not 7 out of 10. Yeah, I mean that's those numbers are so volatile at the beginning anyway.
Are you criticism, critique, or venting?
I don't know.
I think he's venting, and I'm trying to bite my tongue here, and I get that, like, this is not something that, it's not a pity party, and it's not like, here's the answer, Tom, like, your frustration.
I'm not gonna walk away like problem solved.
Yeah.
And which is also a reason I didn't actually even want to talk about any of this, is because for ultimately what it comes down to is if I have done something and made a video or a podcast or whatever that made someone else want to make their own video or a podcast, I want them to be excited about doing that. I don't want them to go like, oh, well, geez, like now I feel discouraged. Or if he's upset about like those numbers, then gee, I feel really terrible about my just starting out numbers. Like that's.
What is your AdSense? Like, what's your AdSense?
What does that mean?
Like in a month?
Well, it was $3,000. Now it's $1,300.
Oh, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's a big difference.
Let's see.
Oh, actually, yes. As of yesterday, it was $1,200. It hasn't been that low since my channel was less than half as big as it is now. That's insane. I mean, I could put more ads and videos, but
the year is 2003. After 20 years of being heavily booked touring musician, everything stopped without warning. No calls, no jams, clubs closing. Solved it through teaching more and collaborating.
Yeah, I mean, there's no, you know.
Need to add a merch store. Could it be a seasonal thing?
Well, see, so this is something I have been wondering, and I don't have the data yet this is my other thing, which is kind of what my hope is.
It's like Dan and his beards. Like, they shave it in the summer.
Well, no, 2020 was an anomaly for a million different reasons. There are a lot of people who I know have been doing YouTube for many, many years who do say, like, well, spring and summertime just tend to be rough. Things pick up in the fall, and towards the end of the year, they really hit their highs and then kind of peter off back towards the spring and the summer of the next year. It's just sort of that cycle for a lot of different reasons, and it has historically been that way for a long time. 2020 is an anomaly, so for me, my 4 years on YouTube, the first year I wasn't paying attention yet, didn't know, really the first 2 years. The third year, which was 2020, was just weird. So that data like has asterisk next to it because it's, I can't really use it for reference. Right. So this is really the first quasi-normal year that I've been focused on numbers. So that's why I don't know. Like, we'd have to wait till the end of the year and go like, okay, things were down, things went up, and then go through next year and see, like, do things go down, things go up, which in a way would be fine, because then it's like, okay, you can plan around that. It's just like we live in the desert where it gets really hot. So we know from April through October, a lot of our outdoors plans are going to need to change. You can plan around it. It still sucks when it's 118 degrees outside and you're melting, but at least you're like, well, I can adapt because I know that it's going to cool off again, at this point.
Homesick Max says, in my humble opinion, the reason why you feel like this is that this is the first negative thing after all those years of having a steady high school teacher job. Maybe that transition needs to breathe a little.
I mean, yeah, probably. I don't know, people don't want to pay me to breathe, so.
The problem with playing to any algorithm is that you end up serving the computers and not a very specific audience. I would define my ideal viewer and ask if each video serves
Well, I mean,
them.
that's what you were making a good point in the community session that you were leading today about, like, the algorithm is ideally chasing you, a human, because it wants to deliver stuff to other humans. And if you are a human and you're trying to be a robot, it just doesn't work. Which I literally have a video on my channel called The Human Algorithm. Like, this is not new
here's a
input
thought.
to me, but
I'm curious to what you think. Now I'm like double backing what I'm saying, but I'll just say it anyway.
Sure.
A person can only have so many microphones.
Right.
So like I feel like, because a lot of your channel is product reviews about microphones, then you probably have a huge subset of people who find you because they want the review for the microphone they're doing research on, or, they stick around because they're shopping for a microphone. They see 3 videos and they're like, okay, I'll pick between these 3. And then that's really it. Like, they don't, there's why... obviously there's the Tom Buckness of it and the, like, this is interesting, but in terms of, like, like, if you've got the six-pack abs, why would you continue watching the fitness channel kind of thing?
Sure, yeah.
So if we zoom out and think of, like, what's the mission of the channel, it's to level up your one-person video and audio production. Then, like, that's kind of a quest that never ends. Mm-hmm. And could you kind of reevaluate your content strategy so that it's not just the bite-sized information about this one specific microphone, but rather, like, helping the quest that is never ending and always trying to level up. So it's like,
yeah, I mean, that's what I thought I was doing. But clearly it's not what I'm doing. And if you go back and you look at my videos, I know we talk a lot about microphones, but that's because we're live streaming and podcasting all the time, so there's always different microphones in our face. But if you go look at the videos that have come out, yeah, there are a lot of microphone ones, because that is what people have told me they want, and I like making them. But it's also, at least in my opinion, trying to do other things. Here's a tool for this, here's a tool for that, here's a software tutorial. Like, I'm trying to hit all the different things. Cool, you got your microphone, your sound is good. What about your video switcher? What about your desk setup? What about your software you're using? What about automating a piece of your software? I've been trying to do that, clearly not effectively, but that's what I've been trying to do.
Yeah, but see, that annoys me. I hate it when you take it back to you, because it's not that you're not being effectively. Everyone here would tell you that you're being effective.
But you know what I mean. You know, like, I can't. This is where it's like, well,
I want you to know that you are such a good teacher, and we all.
Well, thank you very much. But I don't need the pity party though. Like, that's.
I know, but you're saying it. You're saying like I'm not effective. I'm like, no. It's not that you're not effective. It's that there's a mismatch, and that has nothing to do with you. That has nothing to do with YouTube. But since YouTube is an AI and you're a human, you're the one who can analyze. Like, okay, what can you do to kind of tweak and make changes so that there is more of a match? It has nothing to do with like your ineffectiveness.
Well, yeah. So there's a match there. So I thought that's what I was doing, and clearly I was not doing it in the way that matched.
The problem is that YouTube is a thing that combines everything. Most income streams tracks back to YouTube. Even if companies would sponsor a video, you're still dependent on the video making it okay.
Yeah, and just making every video sponsored, like I think that would just be like, well, just delete your channel. Like, that's just gonna kill it so fast, you know.
I don't agree with that though. I think that like
I've seen enough.
But that's even better, because if you've seen enough, then you know you won't do it that way.
But that's where it's like, I mean, there's only so many ways to do a thing, and that's just yesterday I was reading a thing from something that's totally unrelated, but it was on Reddit. Somebody posted a thing. It was in the Simple Living subreddit, and they were like, I sold everything, packed all my stuff, moved to Africa to lead a simple life, and it did not work. And it was this whole thing about like, I thought it was going to be this romantic idea of like picking my own food and less reliance on technology. And they're like, you know what? The water is poison. Like, everything is violent and terrible. I'm sick all the time. And I am like the richest person in my village, and I'm dealing with this stuff. And it went this whole discussion of like, yeah, you think like you're just going to be this insular bubble, that all this stuff's not going to affect you too. Like, you're going to be the exception to the rule. And the answer was no. And it kind of comes back to that same thing of like, I see they all fell down the cliff or whatever, but not me. And it's like, yeah, I'm probably going to fall down the cliff too if I do it that way.
If people are doing outside things, make a video about a setup for audio video outside with a Mac Mini. Does Tom want to make a hobby channel? Tom does not want to make a new start channel. Another channel.
Things I don't have time for.
There might be another lockdown.
But I don't want to have to rely on like, well, as long as there's a pandemic, ka-ching, like, that's where I do want to find the happy medium.
Tom, I hate to mention this, but to me, you are considered an overthinker. The solution to the problem is right there in your first thought, but you overthink it out of existence. I love you and Heather.
Thank you. I don't know what my first thought was.
Yeah, Tom, I hope you know I recorded a video yesterday and threw in a pun because you inspired me.
See, that is the best.
Tom, if it makes you feel any better, I bought one of those monoprice Memphis boot mics through your affiliate link. As long as suckers like me exist, you'll always be able to work on your own terms.
Memphis? It's right there.
Tech release cycle is just about to start in late September and will grow to end of the year.
This is my problem though, is like I don't follow tech cycles, so maybe that's to my detriment. But like I'm not a phone channel, I'm not a computer channel, I'm not a I made a video about the Mac Mini because I bought a Mac Mini because I needed a new thing.
Do you have enough income to live on if you're getting less and less views?
I mean, for the foreseeable future, yes, but
we're real good.
But
Not like
jeez, are we?
I mean, I think we're doing.
We're doing great. We're doing.
I think as a household, we're good.
We have a very low cost of living.
Yeah.
We don't, outside of like our rooms that have gear and stuff.
We're very
super
simple
low,
people. We're not extravagant. We're not materialistic.
Yeah, not extravagant at all.
And if you are, that's fine. We're not judging. But
I mean, my point is, our cost of living is super low. Our mortgage, happy to share, is $1,500 a month for a whole house. Like, it's not. And we live in a relatively, at least for California, low cost of living area. So that's fine. And I've been like super financially conservative for many, many years to like build up savings and be responsible. And we paid off our cars, like that kind of stuff, specifically so that we could weather storms like this. But the storm can't go on forever.
I agree with this, Raphael.
YouTube doesn't set trends and only serves videos large ones. Yeah,
I agree with it.
I agree with that too, except for the thing that happened this spring.
I haven't seen a single camping video, outdoors adventures, nothing.
I'm not saying you've seen it. I'm saying, do you want to know what channels suddenly started growing in the springtime and dying in the springtime? and it was over the course of a week. It was not an organic shift. That's the thing, is when you can point out, like iPhone 11, I don't know what iPhone is, the current one, the 12. iPhone 12 videos are super popular in September of 2020, kind of popular in February 2021, not as popular in like the interest wanes over time. And now next month, iPhone 13 videos will be super popular and then wane. That's organic decrease of interest over time. Something that happens overnight or over the course of a week is not organic. That's a platform shift. And I don't
tell him, Tom.
I mean, it like, it's in the data. It's like when I had that video that went from getting 10,000 views a day to 100 views a day overnight. That's not organic.
It might be fun to see different applications of all the mics you have. I imagine you could do some fun comparisons of over mount versus under mount drum mic placement.
Yeah, so one of the ideas I had, which I think is really fun, was when I even posted a whole thing about this in the community tab, was like, would people like to see head-to-head mic comparisons? Because that's really helpful, not just going like, hey, this microphone is good, but sure, you have the $100 Audio-Technica, the $100 pod mic, let's put them head-to-head. You have the SM7B, the MV7, put them head-to-head and see what sounds better, especially with like blind taste tests and stuff. People said they were super interested in that. So I decided, okay, not going to do weekly, because that's all that is. I don't want to call it a boring video, because you can make it interesting, but it's not, there's only, you have to do a mic comparison in a certain way where it presents things in a way that the person can actually make a decision from. So they're not going to be the most exciting, but they can be fun videos. So it's like, okay, every other Monday I'll do one of those. And those are videos that then I reached out to people I like, sponsors, to go like, hey, do you want to sponsor this video? This is what I'm doing. And that specifically was to go like, hey, let's supplement the income with this thing. And,
maybe this isn't your style, but I would work in more list style content. My favorite budget mics for podcasters in 2021 so far. You're basically repurposing your already good content.
Yeah, I mean, lists could be a cool thing because, it's...
I mean, lists are literally...
I know it's popular, and it is
like
easy to digest.
Straight up think media. It's all lists. Like, I was just watching one this morning. It's just list.
I've never really
done
done
let me tell
that
you
many
who's
lists.
good at SEO is Sean. I mean, he's doing something really right.
Oh, Crisis 23 was asking for Stream Deck videos. I'm learning more and more about my Stream Deck. It's pretty cool. It's really changed my Final Cut. I don't know if Mr. Camera Junkie's here, but he was the one that was like, yo, use the Stream Deck for Final Cut.
I have YouTube Premium, never see ads. So do we. How does this translate to monetization for you?
YouTube, the creator still gets a cut of the YouTube Premium subscription. So it doesn't, you're not hurting anybody by having YouTube Premium.
I'm curious, how does your live streams perform? Do they perform better than videos?
No, they perform worse than videos. But that's fine. Like the live streams they serve a different purpose entirely, which is specifically to connect in real time. And what? The live streams do perform worse.
That's not what I was thinking about.
They do.
So, okay. As your wife, it made me really sad when you were a teacher because, as much as you were the most amazing teacher ever, like there were parts of your job that were just so frustrating.
Right.
Like every morning I always had the thought like, okay, what if there's a school shooting or,
right.
And that's just one of the worries I had. And there's so many frustrating things about it. And I was really glad that you defined, like you made the leap to like define what you want to be on your terms. Right. But I really think that, just like teacher comes with all of its ups and downs, I think it's really, I know you know what I'm going to say, but it's like really risky to be a YouTuber where so much of it depends on you. Like so much of it depends on YouTube.
There's a reason I didn't want to talk about any of this stuff.
No, I know.
Because
like, I'm just saying, like, if we're, because what if YouTube's gone in 10 years, right? And
No, I mean, trust me, like, I could have been a teacher till retirement, whatever that means.
I'm just saying, like, what you have can be manifested in, like, a multitude of ways, and that's, like, exciting. It should be an exciting thing. This is not making you feel better.
No, it doesn't.
I'm not trying to make you feel better. I'm just...
I know that. The problem is that it's like I built a really nice house, and then it was like, oh, but this should have been like an RV. And it's like, well, shoot, I built a house and not an RV.
Yeah, but it's like so you say like you don't want to do client work, but like I feel like the school is a client and YouTube is a client too.
I mean, I don't know. That's where it just gets into this weird philosophical area of like, I don't
Greg
know.
says I treat this as a blip. Takes 2 data points to make a line, 3 to show a trend.
I
But
mean,
it's been
I agree.
5 months.
Yeah, it's been 5 months. It's been 5 months, nearly 20 videos. So that's where it's like, is a trend. Because that's where I've been trying to go like, it's a blip. It's whatever. It's this weird month. Even
So
now,
would it
I'm
make
still
you
trying to go
feel
like,
better?
it's seasonal. It'll get better in the fall.
Like what? So if you consistently got 1 out of 10 for every video, would that make you feel better?
Well, no, because that's almost going in the other direction of like, now there's just this insane growth, which is obviously not sustainable. Having several years of, even pre-pandemic, of very moderate but super consistent growth that's what I would like. That's what would make me feel better. If you're asking, hey, Tom, choose what's going to make you feel better, that's what would make me feel better. Because that is, to me, so much better than the high highs and the low lows. Just the moderate, just because you can adjust, you can plan, you can have a point of like, yeah, okay, if this was the way things were and the revenue and all that kind of stuff at 50,000 subscribers around that point, then you can adjust for, it's not a 1-to-1 correlation, but as things grow, you can at least plan ahead, which is frustrating because that's not the thing. You said you don't want to make short videos, but couldn't you post the butt cut on Thursday and just the facts? I don't know what that is.
Like you can, like YouTube Shorts.
Oh, the problem with YouTube Shorts is if you want to talk about a way to just destroy your analytics, that's YouTube Shorts, because they don't even know what YouTube Shorts are. I wouldn't be opposed to that. And I've thought about like, there's some stuff that you don't need to make an 8-minute video for. You can make a 30-second thing and teach someone a valuable skill that they can implement immediately, which would be a really fun use of YouTube Shorts, except that 100% that will literally kill the channel because of the way shorts are implemented right now. And that's where it's like you see people starting a second channel for short. Not interested in like figuring that out until it figures out what it is like.
Yeah. How close is Tom to that 1,000 true fans, people that will gladly spend $100 a year plus AdSense? Look at the macro, not the micro.
I mean, I truly don't know.
There, because that's what matters.
Yeah, no, I know, which is why, like, I mean, I'm telling you, like, the reason I've not wanted to talk about any of this is because I've been trying to focus on the really good stuff, like the things we have here. This isn't just Tom Bitchfest for an hour. I mean that in the way of like, I'm sitting here bitching about things, because that is what I am doing, and I don't like doing that. Because I'd prefer to go like, here's a problem, here's a solution, go. But it's like, there is no clear solution. So it's kind of like, you can make adjustments, but everything, you got to like wait it out and sort of see. And that's frustrating. And when it's been so many months and you're just trying to go like, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. Just keep going, focus on the good. But the good doesn't pay the bills sometimes, at least at this point. So it is what it is,
Let's see. Could you maybe do an episode of your podcast about the different types of ads?
Yeah, totally. That would be a good idea.
There are so many streams of income that come from the YouTube platform that have very little to do with the video analytics or current video trends. Yeah. You never know when the next opportunity comes.
No. I mean, I have over 20 streams of revenue. Like, I fully get it. The problem is, I cannot, my website, my Squarespace site is not going to reach as many people as YouTube can. Doesn't matter like how you cut it. So that's where it's like, you have like, I have no problem literally taking YouTube AdSense out of my revenue and just not counting on it at all. That's essentially what I've been doing. Icing on the cake, not what you're building your thing on. But if you're trying to go like, hey, everybody who wants to find out about our community, our courses, Patreon bonuses, whatever other things are offered, if it comes through seeing a video on YouTube, it's the gateway. And I don't know how to build a better gateway than YouTube. I mean, I truly don't.
I wish YouTube had dynamic content like Buzzsprout. This
Yes.
way, sponsored content can be changed and removed easily.
Yeah, I guess I would probably be abused, which is why
Maybe you
they
should
don't do
attend a CES trade show to get some ideas and excited about upcoming tech. Is that a Versace robe hanging in the background? Y'all got money, huh? Let's see. I love your content, but it does speak to a wide range of interests, budgets, knowledge, experience. There may be value in narrowing the target and then sprinkling in passion pieces.
I mean, yeah, I feel like
It's California when someone says their $1,500 a month mortgage is on the low side. Oh, really?
I mean, probably, but like, let me tell you the number of people we know in 1 and 2 bedroom apartments paying $3,000 a month.
They're paying, yeah. Wow.
So $1,500 a month for a 4-bedroom house with a big yard and a garage is very nice.
Yeah, it's like that's definitely on the low side.
Yeah, we're very, very low.
Say no to conspiracy theories. I did want a Memphis microphone solely because of that video. Too many microphones already, though, but I might talk myself into it.
Right. I mean, but you're kind of bringing up the point. Like, how many roadcasters does a person need?
Doctor said. Let's see. I think more how and why videos would be good. I click join or Patreon links for those creators I value, and that is something that can help. You give extra love to those who appreciate it.
Yeah, I do too.
You might be able to do instrument mics because people are going back to live performances, so maybe you can make video about that.
Yeah, the problem with that is that's not an area I could do I'm learning with it, but that's not an area of my expertise.
Doc, you need to start over and then intervention.
No, it is not an intervention.
I know.
I didn't even want to talk about this.
I'm sorry. No, okay. First of all, I'm the one who twisted Tom's arm and said you should vent your frustrations. And I know
I'll just feel better tomorrow and move on,
I know. But I feel like it's worth talking about.
It is something that has been...
And I have casually graced over the people who have thanked you for doing this.
It is something that has been building up over a long time, and so when little things build up, that's why this morning we're like, how's it doing? And it's like, blah, because it had been building up for a long time. So I know, if I feel crummy today, I'll feel better tomorrow, but it's just frustrating.
Tom, you know what I'd love to see from you? Some sort of workflow series where you cover different parts of your workflow and make a video similar to your thumbnail. That could be interesting.
See, that I have that video. The problem is also which is a very interesting point in a YouTube channel, is what do you do when you've already made your videos? I have my Final Cut Pro workflow video. I could remake it, but the computer is different, but the workflow is the same, So Peter and I were just talking about this morning, where it's you can do your desk setup video and it does really well, but you can't do that every month. It makes sense to do something like that every year.
Stream Deck tutorials are released to FCP.
Yeah, that I'm once I have that down, that's a part of my workflow. Once I have
Luis,
down,
you need to make the video, man.
Yes, because let me tell you,
make the video. That's you right there.
How friggin' nice it is. Especially I have one that's just the blade through all things, so you can just sit there, and when it's cutting through 4 layers of video and audio, and you're just ting, ting, ting. Oh, it's so fast.
So many times on the live stream, I wanted to know what is actually going through their
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna let it out,
no, I did. I said it. No, I told you.
Okay.
Tom is having a YouTube creator crisis. Video idea: if you need an idea, roadcaster versus an analog mixer.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Frame this. There were hundreds of jobs that existed 10 years ago that are poof now. Some from last year are gone. Yeah. And that's... So, was it Roger or Homesick Mac? I think it was Homesick Mac. You said earlier, this is kind of your first, hiccup
to be honest,
in entrepreneur life.
Since leaving my job, it's only been because... coincidentally, it's not because I left my job, just coincidentally, it's only been down. It has never been up since I left my job. I've never known anything but this. So it's scary. I also
you're also the happiest you've ever been.
Yeah, overall, which is again why I don't want to talk about this
reminder.
Stuff,
no, I think it's worth talking about. That's not your feelings now do not invalidate your happiness.
Okay. But it's not. I know this, but I don't want to paint a picture for other people.
You're not. I think everyone here knows. If you're sitting here,
if you're 40 minutes deep, 59 minutes
Beep
deep,
Fest, okay,
Beachella. No, it's.
I
Yeah, like, okay, when I say I could have literally contractually, you want to talk about entitled, because of teacher unions, 10 years in contract, I was entitled to a job for the next 20 years.
They could not have fired you.
Not necessarily which job. They could reassign me, they could change, it could be a terrible one, but having a job with a paycheck until I said, nope, thanks, was a guaranteed thing. I would have been miserable though. Like that, so that's where that shift comes into play of like, this is very frustrating and it's scary looking at the long. It's not scary in the short term, but it's scary looking in the long term. But it's also like, yeah, I'm not going back to teaching, because it wouldn't work.
I have thoughts, but I know
you need to let them out.
Yeah, but I know you're not looking for answers. And so I don't want to tell you like, oh, what about this? What about this? What about this? Because it's not about you're looking for solutions. If you need to sit down and brainstorm solutions, it's a different kind of stream. But right now you're just venting your frustration. So I don't want to
well, if you have a thought though, I'm sure people would love to know.
5 years of doing this, 6 months into my journey as an entrepreneur, I got into my first car accident. I ran out of money. I had to start doing Postmates. Okay, me going from my super successful career, 10 years in marketing, having a college degree, blah blah blah, and then I had to go deliver food to people. I was so embarrassed, and no shade to anyone here who does Postmates or Uber or anything like that, but I was like super embarrassed for people in my network who were getting promoted, buying houses, getting cars, like all these things. And then like even for my parents to know, who literally immigrated here for me to have a better life. And I was like, hey, you know what? That pre-med situation that you wanted me to do, you can suck it. And I'm going to go deliver food to people. Like literally, I'm going to go to Wingstop. I'm going to go to the local college because that's who's putting in the order on a Friday night. Like that's what I had to do. And luckily I had a support system in my life where people were like, no, that's like cool. That's actually a cool thing. That shows how dedicated you are. And of course, entrepreneurship has been like the best thing that I've ever done, but it is a lot of reframing and just like constant. If you think that like we're just going to coast, that's not how
I've never coasted in my life. I want to be super clear on this. Like
it's not going to be.
This is really the first time I've not had more than one job. Like,
right.
Let's be clear.
I'm just saying.
Let's be very clear. I started working at 15 years old.
You gotta turn the Tom cam on.
Sorry, that's where like
the Tina Tom cam.
I worked unpaid. I have worked 3 jobs at a time. Like I get it. I get the struggle. Grew up at times where like, heating was shut off, and I get it.
When you are having to build the system where you are exchanging something for money, like it can't be the same system. Like you have to constantly be evolving and adapting, and like to me it just like, I mean, this is I really didn't want to say this, but this is why I'm so passionate about the enthusiasm economy, because I feel like I don't think it's healthy mentally to depend on YouTube. I think it should be part of the equation, but what, are you kidding me? Like we can't figure out.
Clearly you're right. I mean, clearly you're right.
I don't know.
Because the problem is like, I don't know where that other piece is. Because that's what I said is like, ultimately what it comes down to.
Just Create More. We didn't know Mighty Networks didn't even exist a couple years ago.
And so when it comes to reframing, I mean, that's what we're talking about. So reframing, like, I was ready to say, hey, YouTube, let's be big partners in, making something happen. And YouTube said no. So okay.
That doesn't mean.
That means I need to reframe how YouTube fits. Ultimately, for me, spending my time, enjoying myself, building up skill sets that I want to do, doing things that I want to do, YouTube plays a huge role in that because I want to make videos. I like making videos. Videos are the best way for me to share what I want to know, how I want to do it. So very much still plays a role, but obviously, yes, it's a piece of the equation. So like here's
a theoretical example. Tom is going to hate this, but I'm just going to theoretically, this is what I'm talking about in terms of if there's a will, there's a way. You just have to get creative. Okay.
Well, I know that.
What if you tried Facebook?
Oh, no. Yeah. I mean, straight up no, just because I fundamentally, ethically hate Facebook. So
right. But here's my point, okay, is if you just said the thing that you like doing is making videos.
But
I know, don't
hate
just
Facebook.
let me finish, okay? Replace Facebook with whatever platform.
Sure.
But I'm just saying, like, if we're trying to take the dependence off of YouTube, right? And it's just a matter of YouTube as a vehicle to help you build your brand and connect you with the right people. Well, then let's find the other vehicles, or there are other vehicles where as long as you can make videos and connect with the people who are your 1,000 true fans that'll give you $100 over a period of 12 months, then like, you know, then you've got your equation right there.
Right. And I mean, for me, I think a big part of that is like, that's where I really do think a personal website plays some sort of role, because it is a centralized resource that can be connected into other things. But that's like, I don't, you know, then it goes on to
like,
then what?
Amazon Video.
Right. But the problem with that is I've already been burned by Amazon once this year, where they talk about giving no F's about just like, you're gone because of some completely arbitrary
like, why
reason.
don't you do YouTube, Facebook, and Amazon?
Because
you like making videos. Like, who
I do,
cares?
but that just feels like spreading so Facebook, I loathe Facebook, other than the Ecamm group. Like, I just can't get behind it. And I think Facebook is bad for humanity. So
even,
I'm going to throw Facebook
even
out.
if it literally gave you like $3,000 a month.
I mean, honestly, I hate it that much. I'd probably say yeah, because I really hate Facebook.
So you'd rather put up with the volatility of YouTube than, I'm just saying.
I know what you're saying. If there was, okay, Facebook is a
Vimeo.
hard no. Sure. If Vimeo were some kind of option, sure. I would.
Wow, this is crazy.
But Shorts really messed up, man. I have 6,000 views almost all. Yeah, Shorts. YouTube doesn't know what Shorts are yet, so I'm just staying away from them until they figure it out. If they can figure it out where it's like, take advantage of this without destroying yourself, I'd love to. But
growth can be much more difficult with scale. Growth looks dynamic early and not as noticeable later. Law of proportionate increase.
I mean, that's true also.
15-year creator here. I'll bet you $100. Read that as 100. It will turn 100. It will turn next quarter in a few weeks.
That's what I'm hoping. Is fourth quarter. Fourth quarter is when things...
Wasn't talking about Shorts. I meant you have a 20-minute in-depth video. Can you make the quick video that hits only the info with no fluff that is 4 to 6 minutes?
I mean, I used to do that. Yeah, I mean, I could play around with those ideas.
I was watching your IGTV stuff when you were doing like answering questions.
Yeah, I remember those.
Interesting. Maybe we could do shorts like that.
Those were fun. It just IGTV, they went nowhere, but it was really fun. And that's where like I'd be up for those kinds of things. I mean, Pat had an interesting thing of like, what about not short form content, but shorter content? Sure. I mean, I've always just been like, the video is as long as the video needs to be.
Well, okay. So here's the thing that you keep defaulting to, which reframe, sure. Right? You keep saying, clearly it's something I'm doing.
Yeah.
Let's reframe to, okay, the something that you've been doing is a once a week video for years.
Sure.
Let's reevaluate. Maybe that is okay.
Well, that's why I'm trying to add on more. I'm not like, I think that at this point, the once a week that like there are people, I know I'm going to eat lunch with Rob on Thursdays because my video comes out Thursday morning. Like, I know that there's enough of that happening and it's valuable to me. So that is something I'm happy to stick with. But that's why I'm like, what about other stuff? Which is why I've been trying to do a lot of stuff on Mondays, because Mondays, for a lot of reasons, seem to also work as a day to put stuff out. And in terms of a sane workflow, it actually works for me. So I've been playing around with that, live streams and other videos on Mondays and stuff, because so I've been trying, you know, I'm open to reevaluating things, or, you know, maybe not every video needs to be a video that took 3 days to put together, or a whole thing. Maybe you could do your weekly video is the big one, and now here's another just sort of like quick thing, or share an idea, or ruminate about something or whatever. I don't know, maybe. I mean, I'm totally open to other things. What was happening?
Your hair, you're getting so frustrated. Your hair.
No, what it is last night was one of the nights that I conditioned my hair, and so all of the residual hair stuff is totally gone, and then it gets frizzy.
I went full-time YouTube this past June. I had the same crisis because views were dipping. I then did a year-over-year comparison, realized this dip is normal, and I'm still doing better than last year.
Yeah. And this is where I just don't know, because I'm not a fundamentally numbers person, but it's like, yeah, numbers are better than last year, but it's like, what in terms of equalizing, like, you know, performance-wise, where things were like.
Will you kill me, man?
Let's go back. It's all over those suits at YouTube. Any day now. Any day now. Just waiting to catch that wave.
Oh, goodness. Opportunity comes from influence, and your influence has not gone down with a downturn in video analytics. Tell him again, Dan. Okay?
No, I mean, that's
what I'm saying, and I get it. Yeah, it's hard for me. You know, Chip over here was like, you gotta look at the data, it matters and stuff like that. But like, to me, it's the influence, it's the word. Like, I feel like it. How no one's here's gonna let you fail.
I'm not arguing, but where it's playing into me is not, oh, boo hoo, this week was bad, this month was bad.
Right.
It's looking ahead into the future. That's where the numbers do come into something. Which, by the way, Doc, if you're still here, when Heather was
on the phone with his sister.
Okay, when Heather was doing her she was doing her tag session in our community. I used keywordtool.io to look up eCam to see if I could find some better tags for my eCam video. And there were only 2 names that popped up. It was eCam for Mac, eCam tutorial. And there were only 2 names that popped up. And it was Tom Buck eCam, Doc Rock eCam. And I was really happy about that.
Cute.
So anyway.
Tom, it's just summer. After the worst year of quarantine ever, people gone mad. In autumn, it'll be normal again for sure. I see this in my e-commerce and SEO projects as well.
That's what I'm hoping. And that's what people say. That's what people are saying. I don't have that data for my channel personally yet.
I don't see this as a Tom beep fest. This is real talk. Not only might it help Tom to talk this out a bit, it makes everyone feel more normal when they go through the same thing.
See, that's my hope, is like,
I feel like everyone here can, is not going to be like, here he is.
Well, yeah, because that was ultimately what I thought was like, okay, if I do want to be positive and show that like this is really cool and it's really fun to do this stuff, if somebody jumps into that and then has bad times, are they going to feel like a failure because, because they're like, well, gee, look, like it's all gravy over there for them all the time. And it's like, well, maybe you kind of need to show that it's a little rough sometimes, specifically to give people the full picture so that they can have their expectations
I'm
realistic.
new here.
Hello. This is what we do every week.
I'm not laughing at you, Tiger. It's just a really interesting first impression.
I know.
You guys seem great. What I would say is it's not immediately clear what the channel is about and who it might.
It's not. We're not even talking about this channel.
Yeah, this is like my channel. It's just a funsies channel. I'm not trying to grow this channel.
I don't think anyone can answer that question.
Yeah. It's the Tom Buck channel. Anyway.
Yeah, it's different.
Anyway, you're cool. Thanks for stopping by. Just got the pups from the groomer, and I found both you
live. A win Thursday.
J.A., I've been meaning to tell you this, but I forgot your first name. And I know, I don't want to call you J.A. Smith, but I forgot what you want people to refer to.
He's just a Smith.
There it is. Just only the passion of making videos.
Don't worry about that. That's been there since I was 4.
Yeah.
Going nowhere. Luckily, video doesn't seem to be going anywhere either.
When you have them already, you do more live streams to remind people you have them.
Right.
The most popular people rehash the same thing. See Think Media.
Which, we won't even get into that. But yes, Think Media has done, which, I mean.
It works.
Well, it's not even like it works. There's sort of a different, there's like this fine line between, like Bailey said, like, hey, Final Cut Pro workflow video. I made that video. If I made the workflow video, like the computer I'm plugging the hard drive into is different now, but it's the exact same process. So the video might look and sound a little better now because I've gotten better at making videos in that time. But the video's kind of the same. Whereas there's other things where it is like you can sort of touch on the same topic again. Going back to lists, if you did like the top 5 streaming cameras for 2020 versus the top 5 streaming cameras for 2021, it's going to be a different list, even though it's the same topic. So like there are certain things that lend themselves to being recovered and certain things that don't. And then there's also there are the people who just make the same video over and over again. We've all seen that too. And it's just the same video. So I don't know. But I've always tried to not do that.
It's just hard. It's hard when like, I feel like the solution is to reduce your dependency on YouTube.
Yes, that is true.
And then that way you can make videos exactly the way you have.
Which
it doesn't matter.
Which, to be honest, that's what I've been trying to do. Is like, if you notice, like, I also cranked out a second course, second online course this summer. Got the first one. Like, I've also been going like, well, let's focus on these other things, so that way, yeah, like YouTube is, if it grew to what it was by me just doing what I wanted to do and seeing what happened, then that's just, maybe you're sort of like, what is it, like dissecting a frog, the frog dies and no one learns anything. It's sort of like bad for everybody, where it's like, you know, maybe don't try to like pull the curtain back and dive into everything. Just sort of go back to being a little ignorant and just following the gut and seeing where that goes. And I've honestly been trying to do that. It's just where it gets frustrating, where it's like, well, that didn't work again. It didn't work again. It didn't work again is how you end up feeling. Because it's like,
see, it's
I know
so
it depends on
different
what's
for
your
me.
definition of
like
work.
Literally my win this week in Just Create, what was that? I put a video out. Like, I don't even care how it did. I was just so excited that I did. I don't care how it did. I can't tell you how many views it's at. Like,
Yeah,
it's just
I mean,
different. And I get it, because I get that, like, your income matters. Like, the number matters, you know, that determines your income. For me, it doesn't matter. Like, if I didn't make the video, it doesn't matter. Like, my income does not change. It would increase, of course. Like, if my YouTube channel grew, then of course the whole thing goes up. But like, I am just so, this is my 5th year doing this. I tried doing it your way, and it didn't work. You know, it just didn't work for me. And so I've already had to pivot here. I've done, my God, you know, how many different YouTube evolutions that I have gone through. I can't even tell you how many times I've changed my channel banner, and like, you know, I have done the pivoting and all of this, and I just came to the conclusion that I was like, you know what, YouTube, I don't want to work for you. I want you to work for me. Straight, it's just stressful. You drive me nuts, you know, like, just be my marketer instead of me marketing for you.
I mean, yeah,
That's what I think.
Preach.
But it's so helpful to vent these things for you and all of us. Also, take it out on the drones.
Yeah.
Do eCam videos work well on your channel?
No. Well, I mean, sort of, but like, that's also something that we talked about niching down earlier. And it's like, eCam videos do well, but like, there's also like, eCam is not like, I don't know, a Zoom video is going to do better than an eCam video. What's in my camera bag? Yeah. I mean, but it, you know, it does change from time to time. Here's my desk setup tour. You know, I've done my studio tour, desk setup tour, lighting setup tour videos in 2020. Or 2021.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If you didn't know what a YouTube channel looked like, then how would yours, like, what would you make yours? You know, because it's like, yeah, you've done the tours, but that's because everyone does the tours. But like, if you were to do it your way,
well, I mean, it's
could you maybe come up with a breakthrough video that's
maybe to be genuinely truthful, that's what I thought I was doing. So that's why it's disheartening, because I'm not diving into data and going like, okay, people drop off at this point, so at that point, that's where a pun needs to come in to keep them going, and the ideal video needs to be 10 minutes and 14 seconds, and like, I literally just thought I was doing that.
Okay, question.
Yes.
This might throw a wrench into the whole thing.
Great.
So, I feel like I am on this side of
sure.
a spectrum of like, I don't want to be a YouTuber. You've heard me talk about this, guys. You know, I don't want to depend on YouTube. I want YouTube to be a tool. And then there's, opposite, which is, let's say, 1 million plus YouTube creators. You know, they're getting most of their income from YouTube. They are YouTuber. That is how they would define their job. And I've always put you somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
It sounds like what you want to do is live the lifestyle of this, which is you want to be a YouTuber in terms of you want to be a YouTuber.
That's what I get to focus on,
like
is making
you
videos
want to
for
be
YouTube.
a YouTube creator and you want to get paid as a YouTube creator. So if that's what you want to do, then, you know, are there are there things of, you know, the YouTube formula that you can like actually do to make it so you're more YouTubery of a channel? Because we know what a YouTubery channel looks like, and you know, maybe art, like, could you lean into that more?
I don't see. That's where I don't know. Again, I thought I was doing this because I thought
you weren't, because
well, I
like,
thought there's a way. I thought
you're so clear about, no, this is my way. This is how I want to do it. I don't want to do it that way.
Right,
I have my ethics statement. I'm Tom Buck.
No. But
like, blah,
I mean,
blah,
like,
blah.
that's just not going to go anywhere. Like, that's where it's like, well, if that's what it takes to be YouTuber, well, oops, like, doesn't work. Fine. But what I thought was like, yeah, here's a video I want to make. What is the most clickable thumbnail I can make? I guess it doesn't have like this face and a bunch of red arrows and stuff on it, but like, you know, what is something that's going to pop up? I've photoshopped my thumbnails into a YouTube feed to see how it pops up compared to other ones while making it. Like, I've done all that stuff, but it's still like, yeah, I'm still
you need
making
to start beef with another channel.
So obviously. Who said that?
No, I said that.
Oh. I was going to be like, I got a problem with you.
You gotta start beef with another channel.
Yeah.
You gotta add some drama.
Yeah.
See, this is why I can't do it, because I'm not like literally the whole. So I just peek into this world. I don't know anything about it, but like Ethan Klein and like Trisha and like Keemstar or whatever.
Sure.
Like, I just feel like their whole
I've
thing
heard
is just
those words.
manufactured drama. Like,
Of course.
you need to like just do that.
No. What in my niche, what would the drama be? Like,
I don't. It's like Britney and her Pepsi contract. She's drinking a Coke. You gotta like use a different mic or something.
I thought that was controversial when I stopped using the pod mic for everything. I was like, oh geez, people are gonna unsubscribe.
Coffee Talk and Tech. What's up, John?
Contact tech.
Honestly, when Tom swore, I acted like he was my teacher at a classroom, just swore as a student. Me too. I was like, ooh.
Well,
He's
I
mad.
said the F word this morning when I was talking to her about it. That's why she
Okay.
knew it was serious.
Because he doesn't this is not a normal. Cussing is not really part of our vocabulary.
Unless it's
like,
for to be really funny
emphasis.
or like 'cause
Yeah.
it's super funny.
Yeah, but no, he was like the straightest face, super frustrated, just dropped the F-bomb, and I was like,
Not in a screaming like at you way.
yeah,
by
he
the
would
way.
never
Like,
do that.
it was literally just like, I forget what it was, but you know,
like, because here's the thing. Here I am. It's a beautiful morning.
making her oatmeal.
Yeah, I'm making coffee. I'm like, Tom, my loving husband.
How's
Tom,
the video?
How's your video doing? And I was like, ooh.
That is exactly what happened. That was a very accurate recreation of what it was.
I can only thank you for this candid and so open discussion. It goes deep, but it will turn, Tom.
I mean,
Don't
that's
worry.
what I've been telling myself, so we'll see. It's be like the person on the Titanic, like, the ship's gonna keep going. The ship's gonna float. It'll come back. It'll be okay.
Rose was sleeping at the end. She was not dead.
Okay.
Half of you forgot to hit the like button. Let's get it. I'm actually working on the Stream Deck video right now.
Good.
Yes.
See, I think that's one of those things too where it's like, I'll
See?
make that video, but I want your video to be out there because you taught me the thing. So you would pay for a Final Cut Pro class. Just saying.
Why don't you do the Buck University?
Be you? Oh,
Be
just
you.
be you. Anyway, no, I mean, like,
I'm just thinking, like, reduce.
I'm not against it.
Reduce
It's also,
your dependency
it's
on this.
exhausting to do these things too. Is the thing?
Yeah,
like,
but you know what also is exhausting?
yeah, I know.
This
I have.
mental toll.
I've got a lot of plates in the air, and it's exhausting to maintain them.
You're
so
doing
I can only do so
fantastic
much.
job, babe.
Yeah, that's the thing.
We
also,
love you. Okay. I drive Uber nights for a year.
I bet you have stories.
Hey Dan, how's it hang? I wanted to do Uber so bad.
I think
but
we're really behind on comments because
I
this is
have
what
a
we're talking
Camaro.
about, like,
I know.
Postmates and
So
stuff.
I did Uber to pay down student loans and was working 9 to 5 and have a doctorate and was doing other side gigs. I will do whatever I need to take care of business legally.
Trust
Get
me,
it.
like,
Get it, Dr. Seth.
we've not gone into my backstory, I think, to these levels. Been there, done all the things, like, totally get it. I'm not somebody with a bad work ethic.
Really? Like at the zoo? Surely it's easy to build a mailing list from YouTube. No more dependency.
Well, I mean, I have a mailing
But
list.
it's not about the mailing list.
Yeah.
It's not actually, now I don't know. Because in your case, Maybe it is.
I have a mailing list.
Then if you get it to 1,000, this
It's at
conversation
1,000.
is over. Then what are we worried about?
I don't know. Yo, everyone on the mailing list buy stuff. I don't know. Like,
You just have to get $100.
Oops.
Like, you just need everyone to pay you $10 a month,
what?
and then you're done.
Okay, sure. That
Right?
would
Is
be
it 10?
great.
Yeah, $10 a month.
I only need 1/6 of the Earth's population to give me $1, and I'll be set. But I don't know how to. Okay, but how do we get to that bridge? Like,
We know, Tom, says Heather. Agreed. Don't depend solely on YouTube. It's part of a chain. Teaching, informing, instructing are part of you, but doesn't have to define you. Facebook is evil, but I get my most engagement for live concerts there.
that's
I'm
where it's
just
like I just
saying.
can't. Like, you want to talk about waking up and like looking at myself in the mirror and feeling good about what I'm doing.
He hates Facebook.
That ain't the business for me.
Why don't you use your website and YouTube together? Each video gets its own blog post, user transcription as a text for SEO. That is a
See, that's what I did that actually early on. I did that. And I've thought about doing that again because I would actually love for the website to be a resource, like a really good, which is why I've been trying to build out like a downloads page.
Wow, that's
stuff.
crazy. Our private Facebook group has become a massive stream of income. My best friend has been able to leave all of his other side jobs and is able to just run my group. It's fantastic.
I just can't do Facebook.
Have you heard of Mighty Networks?
I can do Mighty Networks.
YouTube mailing list, paid course. It's well-worn path.
I mean, I have all of that. I don't know.
Yeah, he has that. So he has a course called the Podcaster Playbook and the Podcaster Idea Book.
And a mailing list. I've got all that. I got a website. I'm doing all the things.
Yeah. So,
I mean, like I said, there's over 20 streams of revenue when we're talking about YouTube. Like, it's not like,
if Tom took his videos to his own website with a membership and live streams where he can play the drums without copyright strikes, I'd pay for that switch.
I just need to find a website that I could do that on. Even Instagram booted me the other day.
What if you made videos on YouTube, then embedded them to your website, but each video has its own blog post? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably a cool project.
Personal
I should work
website.
on.
Okay. 2 times 6 minutes videos weekly.
I mean, that's what I did that for a long time. And I'm totally cool with that.
IGTV went nowhere, but I did try when they pushed it.
Me too. Because I thought it would be fun.
Because now it's just Reels. That's what they're pushing.
Yeah,
crazy.
and it's just, I don't know what, like.
That's what frustrates me with IG. Changes too often. Too much chaos for me.
Right.
Yeah.
100%.
And the thing with Instagram is that it's so, it's really hard to.
Really hard.
Like, cultivate the loyalty you would get out of.
Well, I mean,
video.
going back
It's
to
just
YouTube as
not-
a resource, like, the fact you even said this in your stream yesterday, I think, like, you can find a video years later, like, you can put a ton of work into other platforms, but
shelf life.
it's not going to have the shelf life. And for me, when I'm sitting here putting a bunch of work and thought into making something, I like the idea that, yeah, my workflow video from a year and a half ago is still relevant. Like, go watch that video.
When you
I like
make
that.
your hobby your job, you made your hobby your job. Self-employment has natural ebbs and flows of sales and income. Let's see. My thing with shorter content is when I'm searching for something, I'll skip channels I love for channels that deliver the quick info I need. Like Adobe in a Minute is a great channel for
This
just the
isn't, I mean,
facts.
this is,
YouTube still has the best discovery engine and audience building trajectory for earnest content.
because I got hung up on YouTube Shorts, but when Patrick's talking about shorter content, like Raphael said, talking about like, what about 3 or 4 minutes, 5 minutes instead of 10 or 12 minutes. And yeah, I mean, if there's a video that's like how to get better live stream sound and the video's 5 minutes long, it's like, oh, I can improve my live stream sound in 5 minutes. That's cool.
I'll be honest, I like reading more than watching, so even a posted transcript is better for me to take in the info because I skip the info where it is. Discovery is a key term, second largest search engine.
Yeah.
Reels are basically shorts, TikToks. Yes. I would build a grid of your 2021 videos and map out topic area, viewer experience level, length, style, how to versus review, etc., and find commonalities to see if it gives you any useful.
I mean, I've
insight.
actually done all that. Like I promise I'm not.
He's you're into the analytics and
Yeah,
stuff.
I think it's easy to take the like goofy whatever. Like I promise you, like I'm.
What if the
very
numbers
thoughtful.
are wildly outrageously fantastic in a few months? Would you make a venting stream? How if it's too much?
No, but I would definitely talk about, like, that's where I did say
You would
earlier.
get nervous.
Yeah, if things go insane, it's like clearly that's not sustainable. That's why it's like sustainability is key.
I've just signed up for Leaped Into Live All Access, and I'm looking forward to watching your session.
Oh, good. It should be really fun. Like, I'm excited for it.
Yeah. People were burnt after a first year in house on YouTube. A lot of those will return to norms this fall, but long-term thoughts make sense.
Jeff or Jeffrey?
Oh, Jeff or Jeffrey. Okay. Jeff or Jeffrey. J.A. is much better. Hey, Chris. Oh, wow. Cool.
Santa Barbara. Nice.
Let's see. Why do you always have a hat on? You look very beautiful without it. No disrespect to the hubby. I'm JS.
Your hat is not disrespectful to me, babe.
Why do I always have a hat on?
You look beautiful all the time. Branding.
Oh, so tomorrow, sorry, this is totally off topic. I'm redoing my purple. It's gonna. I
mean, that's yeah, which is crazy because Heather's used to have purple hair, and now you have the tips of the hair are purple, and it's grown out. And I have been very much in favor of. She's like, should I get my hair done? And I'm kind of going no, because it's so much work. Like, I take a shower and then put like the goop in my hair and then let it dry for a bit and then comb it, use the hair dryer to kind of like dry it faster and blow it, and it's done. And I can take a shower multiple times a day, hair gets wet, never think about it. Whereas when your hair is done, you're like,
you know what the hat is for me? Here's what I think the hat is. It's like, it's almost like a persona, maybe. So I paused because I don't want people thinking like I have to wear the hat in order to do what I do.
Gives you your power.
Yeah, that's not it. It's more of like, I feel because the hat like is such a part of my brand and my journey. And when I used to wear the hat, it was more of just like there was no thought to it. It was just like put the hat on. But now because it's such a part of my brand, it feels like, it's like wearing a suit and tie to work.
Yeah. Let me tell you,
this
especially
is my uniform.
When I used to wear a shirt and tie for teaching, and it was like, I felt like Teacher Tom. It's like, now I'm ready to
go. Like, I just feel
stuff.
In my zone, and it makes me like feel confident and comfortable. And because here's the thing, like if I take it off, I'm just staring at the top of my head. Like I will do this the whole time.
What?
So I need to do this, and like I have a birthmark right here, and it doesn't cover it. It's actually, girl. It's actually like in the hole right here. You can see it. So I don't know. That's my thing.
Oh,
anyway.
But what I was gonna say was going to like events with you after a long time not seeing people. Literally, the first thing people say is no purple, no purple, no purple, and I'm like, oh my god, you guys, like, okay, well, she's gonna get her hair redone no matter what, because case in point.
Life struggle. Do what brings happiness versus do what makes the most money. I am very much in the middle of the struggle. If the numbers were where they are now, would you have still made the jump? Oh, that's a good question.
Couldn't have.
Yeah, you would have, because I wouldn't have let you.
Oh,
work.
well, yeah, okay.
Are you kidding? Because here's the thing. Okay, if there were no pandemic, you would have never quit.
Right. Yeah. If there were no pandemic and the numbers were there,
he would have never quit.
Pandemic,
even if the numbers were triple what it was, he would have never quit, because this is a man who was very like, I am going to honor my career. True. And I'm on this path, and I have all these accolades. Yeah,
you want to talk about doing stuff.
Built a whole thing.
There was a point in time where I was working 3 jobs and going to school full time to become a teacher. Talk about
never gonna leave.
Sunk cost fallacy or whatever of like, look what I did to get to this point, and now I'm just gonna throw it away to make YouTube videos. Like, no. But this year, no. I'm sorry, do we leave our door open to like protect from the deadly virus, or do we close it to protect from active shooters? Were not questions I signed up to answer when I became a teacher. Yeah. And also the education system is broken. That's a whole thing for another stream, but let me tell you.
And that's why I say, I always feel bad when people ask us, like, oh, how have you been handling things with the pandemic? Like, we've had family members,
Friends
die.
And family die.
Yeah, from COVID, right? But like, 100% Tom, we would not, none of this, like, we would not be doing this if not for the pandemic. So, like, you know, situations and circumstances are always going to change. Like,
that is true. We came up with the couples table because it was our wedding reception, because we couldn't have a wedding reception.
This show, the couples table,
truth,
wouldn't exist. I mean, if for the folks that are new here, okay, like,
we're also going on close to 2 hours.
We were going to get married at like a really nice hotel in Palm Springs, and like we put the deposit down and everything, and like, you know, we were going to have like, you know, it wasn't going to be fancy or big or anything, but you know, we had plans. And then like we couldn't, everything closed down, so we got married at the movie theater because they had to put a partition, like we had to go to the
county office took over the movie theater so they could use the ticket booth as like a germ separator.
Yeah. And like, so basically we live streamed our wedding, and then we live streamed our reception, and we were like, oh, you know, the couples table, this is what we're live streaming, because at the reception there's a table for the newlywed couple. And I was like, oh, that's the show, let's go.
Yeah, we joked about it, and then we done it for 60
like,
episodes.
So this show is like, because of that, and I don't know, my whole point in even bringing this up is like, you know, as an entrepreneur, it's like there's never a like, let's just keep doing this over and over again. You know, it's always like, you gotta keep, I don't know, shuffling. What are your thoughts on publishing courses on Teachable, Udemy, Skillshare?
I mean, I have courses. Mine are on Podia, so I like them. I'm not big on...
Just decided to put a video out this right here. If you also mention your consultations? Yeah, like what if you did more of a push?
Every video has it in there, which is where I've sold courses and book consultations from. Like it does work. Yeah.
Drummer Punk. My fiance and I always enjoy watching you two hope all is well. Tom, as a drummer, I'm working on trying a year-long docu-journey with lessons from drum coaches to show how to use all this tech, but also what the highs and lows are like, maybe some long-term series.
Yeah, I thought about doing stuff like that, but I just haven't had an idea that I'm like, yeah, I want to do this for a long time.
Do you think you got dependent on YouTube too early?
I mean, if anything, the opposite.
Yeah.
If anything, like I should have gotten dependent sooner.
Yeah.
So that way I could have built things up faster.
This is what I think. Let's add that YouTube factor in there. Takes. You know, I'm telling you.
Behringer sucks. That's like, my hot take.
I just feel like, so I wouldn't do this because I honestly don't think I have the like YouTuber personality entertainment factor, but I feel like you're there, like you do the puns already,
but
I manufactured
still, though,
drama,
like,
and
inclusivity is very important to me, and so like I guess I could do a hot take on my area, but I can never help but like if I'm stating a strong opinion about something, if it's not coming from a place of like ethical beliefs or whatever, I feel like I don't want to alienate the person. I just said Behringer sucks. It's because they rip off other companies and steal their hard work and then try to act like they don't. But if somebody saved up a whole bunch of money and they have a Behringer microphone or interface and it's the thing they have and they're proud of, I would kind of feel terrible, like speaking poorly about the thing that they worked really hard for, you know? Like I can't separate myself from that. And that comes from being a teacher for a decade, and like every word I'm saying to a group of people, I'm saying trying to remember the incredibly complex home lives of these 200 students that you're teaching every year. Like, you know, I know that you can say something very flippantly and off the cuff and not mean anything by it, and it can have a devastating effect on someone that you didn't intend. And I just don't want to do that. Like, you know, the world doesn't need more of that. Anyway. Selling merch with puns.
That's what I said, dude.
I don't have a good merch idea. Like, I mean, I don't know
We're not focused.
I don't know. Camera's getting tired. It's been on for like 12 hours today. Hey, buddy.
I always
decided to stop focusing
like
on
the
us.
videos you send out in the mailing list and always read it in depth.
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to figure out like how much time to spend on that.
The reason Tom is like, the thing with Tom's merch is like he wants it to be something he wears, because I was just like, put Tom Buck on it.
Well, who would wear, like, why would you? But yeah, it's so like the mailing list is a good example. What I've been trying to do is going back and finding like I've been taking snippets from courses, unlisted podcasts, things like that, sending them out, going like, I'm really proud of this. You guys should check it out, but I don't know how much to.
Roxanne for the win. I believe Tom will come up with his own solutions. He just needed to express his frustration. Let the man be human.
That's kind of how I feel. Yes, thank you. Because I'm not an idiot is also the thing. Like,
but like, you know, we all care.
No, and I appreciate
we all want to
that.
help. You know?
I know, I appreciate that, but it's...
And I know, we know that, you know, we're not looking for answers, but...
It is hard to express yourself without also then putting up a line of defense and trying to justify, like...
Right.
No, you know, like, trust me, when I called the school district tech support and like, did you turn your computer off, turn it back on? It's like, trust me, the last thing in the world I want to do is talk to you. So, like... if I'm calling you, it's because I've done everything. And I think there was one of my friends in college who brought this up, and I forget what the thing was, but it was someone was like giving, they were trying to have like a, you know, critical feedback moment with me, and they were like, just remember that whatever you're going to say to Tom, he's already guilt tripped himself times 10 for everything before you give, and which is 100% true. Like, I have blind spots, fully ready to admit that, but I promise you that, like, if something gets to the point where it has frustrated me for 5 months...
He's been thinking about it.
Yeah. I've gone down the avenues.
Let's see. Even though now I can't afford it right now, I look at the course page so I can add to my long list of things to buy. When you release merch, that'll go on the top of my priorities.
Oh, Bailey, dude. We'll talk.
Yeah. Bailey, no. Just no.
Have you thought about opening a food truck, but instead of testing microphones for a live audience in the streets of India?
I saw this. Heather and Tom needs mercy, but it's merch.
Oh, mercy's good too.
Maybe Tom should do a review site of his own videos. Just you sitting in the corner pausing the video to comment on what Tom
Let me
was
clarify.
saying.
What I really meant here was something else.
You have a video where there's two of you in it, sitting on the couch.
Oh yeah, that was me just trying to learn how to do the cloning thing early on.
Black t-shirt, single pun, quoted in the center, blue text, Tom's logo underneath.
What is my logo?
Yeah, what is the logo?
White man. Hello.
What? Phone app. Tom's bad pun generator. Buck mugs, shirts, hats, face masks, everything with puns on it.
Face. Mr. Smith, can Tom make tacos while testing mics? I mean...
This has been really interesting to hear. I appreciate all the openness with thoughts and the ideas that are coming back.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Tom can start a stream called Shut the Bug Up. Lord knows Doc gets fired up and works for him. Yeah, exactly.
I see when Doc has to calm himself down and he's like, okay.
I'm telling you.
I mean, I don't have like...
Drama. You gotta add the spicy.
We've had a friend with a larger YouTube channel tell us, like, you just need to be as outrageous as possible.
You just gotta go.
It's like, yeah, I'm sure that would make the channel grow. Also, I'd be miserable, but, you know.
I recently took a video and spliced into YouTube Shorts, so try that out.
Interested to know how that worked.
Rebecca, you guys rock. Purple, I love colored hair. If you need help with purple, I can help.
Doc is giving his hair advice.
I take a shower, that's it. Love the purple hair.
The hat is a helmet.
Hair dryer.
Because my hair is very, very curly naturally. But
keep the hat. With great hats comes great response. A hat is a brand.
Where's Dan talking? Dan C. Bearded showed his hat collection the other day on his stream.
Oh yeah, what the heck?
Because Heather was like, I was like, you gotta see Dan's thing. He has like 200 hats on his walls, and she's like, does he have more hats than me? I was like, no, he has literally like 200
wall
hats.
Of hats. Yeah.
Like, as in there are that many hats on the wall.
I haven't heard the work. Hair color can be totally part of your brand. Battery for the enthusiast machine, that is Heather. Yeah, it's just, I'm telling you, it's like a uniform. It's like, all right, let's go. You know, it's like a superhero's cape.
It just feels right.
It just feels good.
Yeah.
Drive-through wedding. Rebecca was there. Actually, I know I've said this, but Rebecca was actually supposed to be our officiant who was supposed to marry us.
At the actual wedding, yeah.
Wait, the educational system is broken. So many buck puns are possible.
That's an advantage.
Been freelancing since 2004. Best decision ever. Sure, there are lean times, but things always seem to work out. That's the
hope. Yeah.
Things always work out.
Doc says Behringer does suck. I mean, they're also very litigious. So.
It's not a marathon. What is it?
It's not a sprint. It's a marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next week, I turned 62, been married 37 years. Ask me anything. Wow. Congrats. I can't wait until we can say that.
I know.
I mean,
Her
I can
parents just
wait,
celebrated their
but-
40th anniversary, and that's like, god dang, that's cool.
Hi, Peter.
Peter's
Show
here.
us a Lewitt today. Consistence beats resistance.
That's what we're hoping. Someone does a Behringer base.
Okay, now we're going down Behringer.
I stand strong.
Behringer.
So opinions, basically. I'm gonna say something that sounds foo-foo woosa. Spending
let's
too
go.
much time thinking about what can go wrong is kind of manifesting the hurt. As a friend and doctor, I'm gonna say, let it go, Elsa. Let it go. I mean, this is also someone who has like. I know it's fun when people are like, I'm so OCD about stuff and I have anxiety, but it's like, no, like,
Yeah.
I have the.
Tom has. Yeah.
I have been debilitated by actual OCD at points in my life to where when it talks about you're spending hours doing rituals and things, like you can't function doing other things. So anxiety is a thing. And I was just watching a video. I think it was a Peter McKinnon video, which of course it was like sponsored by BetterHelp.com or whatever. But he was talking about he's never had panic attacks till he started doing YouTube, and then had panic attacks. And then it was like his cousin or something was like, your anxiety comes from essentially trying to predict the future or control the future, and then realizing you can't predict or control the future. And it's trying to predict the future, and it just by human nature leans negative. So, like someone was like, what if all the numbers are up times 10 this time next year? Who cares if you're in a slump for 5 months? Now it doesn't even affect anything. But I'm looking at it as downward trends will continue. That means everything falls apart. That means, back working at the grocery store or whatever.
Yeah. His mind goes there.
Yeah.
He
I go
can't
to
help
the
it.
worst possible outcome immediately at all times. And there's just enough.
And he does this thing where he doesn't tell me.
What
So
do
I
you
had no idea you felt this way.
Well, because because it's also like there's with your kick of being on like the other end of things and not wanting to even look at numbers and milestones and stuff. It's like I don't want to.
I don't want you to.
But
not
there's
tell
also
me.
the part where it's like I'm telling you that I've been bottling up these things, but when you bottle something up, it's not like I had a fully formed thought. Let me just package that away over here. It's like you have a thought, I'm going to shoot it down before I even fully realize I'm having the thought. So it's not that I'm keeping it from you. I'm also keeping it from myself in that way because I don't want to have those thoughts. So it's not that I'm keeping it from you, but I didn't even know about it either. It's part of it.
I'm going to use this same argument when I you know what I'm saying? When something is wrong and I'm like, nothing's wrong.
You've told me this. You said if I knew I would tell you, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, it's anyway. That makes me feel good. Less thoughts, more ska. I mean, that's obviously the solution to the whole thing.
Tom's going to tear up.
Go 110% in on the ska podcast. Oh. Corgi almost bit me.
Don't tempt him. Well, there you go.
Anyway.
Well, it's been 2 hours. Today has been a day,
yes.
you guys.
So let's wrap it up here because Michael's here. He's going to be leading our camera basics workshop in the Just Create More community tomorrow.
This is true.
And Michael said, I love your integrity, Tom. Love your authenticity. That's what connected me to your channel. And see, that's why it's like, okay, those are the important things. Like,
yeah, dude.
Those are the important things.
I'm
and I know
telling you
this.
what. So, challenge, 30-day challenge. Don't check your analytics.
Oh, not even non-negotiable. Like, I can't not.
Just try it.
I don't want to not.
1 week.
I don't want to not. Because it's also like you can't not. Like if I want to just keep up with comments, I have to stumble through the where's this video ranking just to get to the comments page, like.
I'm just curious, like, how people take breaks from social media? Like, is it worth just like, okay, let's take a little breather from...
I mean, honestly, I don't pay as much, ironically, after 2 hours, I don't pay as much attention to them as I used to.
The whole stream.
I don't know. I don't know how many subscribers I have. Up until a couple months ago, I always knew to the number. I don't know. I know the ballpark. Like what it says on the YouTube page, like 73.8. I know that ish. I think it's 73.8, but I don't know. I don't know beyond that. So, I mean, like, I don't know what my 48-hour views are. I don't know what my most popular of the 10 videos is. Like,
your integrity is your brand, Buckminster.
Buckman.
I also feel like I'm on an emotional roller coaster for what it's worth, Tom.
I'm curious. I know we didn't get to.
You guys need to catch up.
We were supposed to yesterday, but I'm
Yeah.
curious from someone in your position in a very different niche, where things.
Yeah,
are.
because if Nick, that'll be some data. Different niche, different side of YouTube.
Set up a direct link to the comment, but I guess it would be the whole. Yeah, that's true. Bookmark just the channel comments page.
They'll be fine tomorrow. You can shortcut straight to the comments page. Add it to the stream deck.
You know what? You're 100% right. As long as it refreshes every time and goes to the new ones.
He's fine now. Anita, he's fine now. Integrity's everything. Mr. Buck has it in buckets.
Buckets.
Well, so how do you feel now? Versus...
I'm actually, my blood sugar's dropping. I'm like getting sweaty and shaky, but that's a separate issue. I mean, I feel it's not, it's very nice to vent. I think Roxanne kind of like hit the nail on the head. Like getting it out there is good. I feel terrible to complain for 2 hours, but here we go. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's part of the journey. And if you want to know, like, it wouldn't be, if we want to talk about authenticity and integrity, it wouldn't be helpful to only show like, boy, this is all great all the time and I just have it all figured out, because it's probably gonna make someone feel like crap who doesn't have it all figured out.
Also, Tom is not complaining. Let's, make sure that
venting, yes.
Yeah, venting, but we will always, like, you
Let's
said
be
it
clear about
earlier,
that,
yeah, but like
Yeah.
we love YouTube. The fact that we could do this, we met, we have
Yeah.
this show, like, very thankful, but it's
There's a lot that has been enabled and empowered because of it.
Yeah.
To degrees of which I will never even understand.
We said you feel for this. I forgot to ask, did you end up using my suggestion from last week's video? Oh,
we talked about this at the beginning of the stream. I forgot until we started the stream. I was like, oh crap. So
well, we need to get this man some food.
Yes.
And I mean, I know you know it, but I will speak for everybody and say that we love you. You are such a light in our lives. We look forward to your videos every week.
Thank you very much.
You've inspired us in countless ways and motivated us, and we're so appreciated. The world over, you are so appreciated. I'm serious. Like, I hope you know that.
I appreciate that. I don't know how to respond to such nice things, but I do appreciate it in my heart.
And I know I'm biased, but here everyone else can add to that. So there you go. Okay.
Well, thank you very, very much, everybody. All the kind words, wasn't they con words? Oh, Leo, I was using you as an example this morning of the importance of like mastering your equipment versus just diving in and constantly getting new equipment. If there's somebody, I don't know anyone who can work the Sony a7 III better than Leo, because he, like, rather than just getting a new thing every time to fix everything, he's like, I'm gonna understand how to do the best with what I got. So
see, look at this.
Thank you guys, always very, very much appreciated. You sleep it off. Tomorrow's of course, today's a great day. Like, today's a great day, and I'm super excited to go eat some snacks. So
all right, guys.
Yes. I guess it's time to clear the table.
I think it's time to clear the table.
We went an hour and 52 minutes.
We'll just go eat lunch.
Close to a record.
Take care, guys. We'll
Take care, have
week.
fun, and we will see you on the flippity flappity.
Bye.
We didn't end the stream.